Not at all.
Is this going on CNN?
I wish.
All right. First of all, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to have this delegation before you. It's my honor and pleasure to be here. And the purpose of my delegation is to request that there be a motion by Town Council to reconsider the short-term intermittent license of Tony's Street Meat and Sweet Treats Mobile Food Court. Tony's Street Meat and Sweet Treats is a small business with an independent owner-operator that's located across the road from this building at the corner of Victoria and Main in the town of Shelburne. And the owner is Mr. Tony Finocchio, who's in the body of this chamber. By way of background, Tony Finocchio was born in Ontario in 1962. He's 54 years of age. He's the father of three children, two boys and, two sons and one daughter. And they're all adult children at this point. And for the most part, during his working life, he's been involved in the food services industry. Prior to opening a business in Shelburne, Tony researched this town, and he determined that the people were very warm, very welcoming, and he forecast this particular urban area would be really a great place to open a business and work. So in 2005, he opened his hot dog cart business here, and he enjoyed the reception that he received from the people of Shelburne. Accordingly, the business went very well, and 3 years later, he expanded to add Tony's Sweet Treats. Over the years, Tony Finocchio made many friends in Shelburne, and he has quite a following on Facebook for his business and in the actual real world. For the first 9 years, he operated the business all year long. But in the past 2 years, as he gets a little bit older, he's decided to open only from May till October and close during the winter. Last month, April, with great joy and anticipation for another successful season, Tony Finocchio paid the city the fee for the license to operate his mobile food court. He had no expectation that the town council would receive the application and he would not be permitted to open. So in preparation for the summer months, Tony paid all of his rent 1 year in advance. He purchased his ice cream, his beverages, his fuel, his hot dogs, and all the necessities that he required to get his business up and running for 2016. Now, in the past 11 years, he's had tens of thousands of interactions with people from Shelburne and people visiting this town. And it's definitely possible that a very small number of those meetings and interactions were negative. But for the most part, Tony is a well-liked shopkeeper whose business people enjoy supporting. If Tony were universally disliked, his business would naturally, over time, be ruined. And that's capitalism. If he is not running his business properly and the majority of people don't want to frequent his store, then he's going to go out of business. Regardless of the type of work that people do, it's unlikely that they are going to be appreciated by everyone. There's always going to be people that may second guess your decisions, take things you say personally, or misinterpret the tone of your voice and believe you're a menace. There's no doubt that Tony is an outspoken person. I've known him personally for at least probably 10 or 15 years, and he's lively and he's colorful. And some people can take his personality and they like it, and some people don't like it. But that being said, that's what makes him different, and it adds to this town, and it doesn't detract from it. It's diversity and different types of people that make life more interesting. I'm not certain what Tony did that would cause his application to be received. But I'm pretty certain that anything that he did do could be addressed and corrected and rectified. Certainly, after being in business here for 11 years, he deserves an opportunity to know what he did that was improper and should be given an opportunity to address that. The fact that Tony's remained in business for over a decade is one way of recognizing that people of Shelburne want him to continue. But also, I will submit to you a petition which has been completed in accordance with the rules set out in the Town of Shelburne bylaws. I think you get that petition. Sorry, excuse me. This petition, which has over 1,000 signatures, I'm sorry, I think it has 1,000 signatures, and it has the signature and address of the people who support the continuation of the short-term business license. I'll just very briefly read the top. Group name, supporters of granting a short-term business license for Tony's Street. Goal, to have the Town of Shelburne Council reconsider the decision to receive the application for a short-term business license for Tony's Street and to grant a short-term intermittent business license for Tony's Street. So if I might pass this up to Mr. Telfer. Thank you. So as I've said, in addition to him remaining in business for all these years, there is 1,000 people that have signed a petition for him to remain in business and for Town Council to reconsider the license application. So with the greatest of respect, I'm requesting before you a motion be made to reconsider the decision and motion of April 25th, 2016. And I ask that this motion be brought in accordance with section 14.9 of the Town of Shelburne bylaws. Our request is that a motion be brought and seconded which would permit the reconsideration of the issuance of the license. And the urgency supporting this request is the seasonal nature of the business in question. If the motion is submitted as a matter of course in 6 months pursuant to section 14.9, it will fall in November 2016, thereby eliminating the opportunity for a season. Additionally, the failure to open for the 2016 summer under a cloud of suspicion which currently exists will sour the goodwill that Mr. Finocchio has established with many people over the past 11 years. Frankly, Mr. Finocchio was quite shocked to hear that his license was not going to be reissued, and without knowing why or what he had done that was incorrect, it seems somewhat, with the greatest of respect, high-handed and unfair. He, as I said earlier, is just an independent owner-operator, is running a small business. We understand that the Town Council acts as a gatekeeper for licensing, and the Council must have the best interests of the town in mind. But the discretion to receive a license application must be used judiciously. On April 25th, in my respectful opinion, there was a rush to judgment regarding Tony's mobile food cart. If you consider all the circumstances, including the number of years he's been in business, the fact that a vast majority of people want the license issued, the small number of complaints or issues that can be easily addressed, it would appear that the most appropriate and judicial decision would be to reconsider the request for a license and to grant the license. And Mr. Mayor and members of Council, thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to address them.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions? Mr. Oxford?
Yes, sir.
All right, I don't see any questions.
No questions.
Thank you for your delegation.